And we are going to lead off with some theater here in this segment on the Morning Brew. And this portion of the Morning Brew is brought to you by the Albuquerque Theater Guild. Our friends over there, and the Albuquerque Theater Guild put out great info on their website that you see right there, abqtheater.org. It's your guide to live theater in Albuquerque. Go to abqtheater.org to see what's on today. And boy, we've got a lot going on with our first guest today. I want you to meet Brian Hansen, director at the Vortex Theater and part of the Albuquerque Theater Guild also, and Frank Melchiori, who is co-founder of the Southwest Irish Theater Festival. Welcome, guys. Good to have you both.
Good to be here.
Thank you for being here. All right, we have several productions going on, both Albuquerque and Santa Fe, and let's kind of set the stage.
Well, the Southwest Irish Theater Festival is in its second year, actually. And it started a while ago with the usual conversation in a pub in which
This is true.
All good things.
Alan Hudson got talking about his favorite thing. He is Irish, and which is Irish drama. And we said, good heavens, there's so much Irish drama. Couldn't we organize the local theaters to all do Irish plays at roughly the same time, around St. Patrick's Day, of course?
Yeah.
And what resulted was this amazing outgrowth of local theater doing Irish plays. Alan and Frank have provided the leadership in that they've sort of given us the list of wonderful plays, and the local theaters have simply jumped into it and said, well, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this.
Wow.
So here we are in the second year of it, and what, like 5 productions are going on?
Yeah, at this time, there could have been more, but even at 5, that's good. The local theater showed a lot of goodwill. I mean, you know, they have to take part of their season and say, okay, we're going to devote it to this. They don't know who's going to come and see these Irish plays. We think they've been moderately successful, but primarily because everybody's been willing to take a chance on it. And this is the second year now, so it seems to be going someplace.
And what's neat is it's in Santa Fe and Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Right, right. We've expanded this year, actually, or they have. I'm just one of the local directors, to Santa Fe. So who knows where?
Yeah.
After, you know.
This thing's taken on a life of its own, hasn't
Oh,
it?
it really has. And it is kind of funny here in the desert to be doing Irish drama, but nonetheless.
Sure, we do things differently.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about a couple of the productions and maybe some that audiences would like to get familiar with. This one called Juno and the Paycock tell us about that one.
Well, yeah, that's the one I'm most familiar with because I'm directing it at the Vortex Theater. We open this Friday night, and then we play for 4 weekends. And all the information can be found at the Albuquerque Theater Guild website. This play is a play, it's hugely famous in Irish drama. It was written in 1924 by Sean O'Casey, perhaps the most famous of the Irish realistic writers of that time. And it is set in the Irish Civil War in 1922, a time of incredible violence in which it was truly brother against brother, families divided down the middle. And the Juno and the Paycock are a husband and wife team. The Juno is the woman, the long-suffering wife who is holding her family together against incredible odds. The Paycock is her husband, who lives in this kind of fantasy world in which he, well, among other things, says that he's a ship captain. Well, he's not, but it doesn't matter. That's enough for him to live in the fantasy world. And as in all of Irish drama, there's this wonderful mixture of both comedy and tragedy, because I think, in fact, I know that O'Casey is saying to his fellow Irishmen, listen, you guys will never pull yourself out of these problems until you can see the world clearly. But as long as they live in this fantasized world, they just plunge on and get deeper and deeper and deeper into trouble. And I won't give away the ending.
Okay. The play sounds like it's representative of all that Irish culture.
Absolutely. The Irish both love it and hate it. For years, it has been a moneymaker at the Abbey Theatre, but it also has been the subject of riots. You know, Irish patriots saying that the picture of Irish patriotism is simply unfair and that kind of thing.
Not realistic.
That's right.
Okay, wow. How do you direct that to get that Irish spirit out of it?
Well, I have my own views about really great drama, and the drama of Sean O'Casey is like the drama of Ibsen and Chekhov and the rest. It combines at the same time both silly and hugely important ideas. And so comedy and tragedy are not just separate categories. They're imposed one on the other. So at the same time that you're looking at a character and laughing at him or her, you're left saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I see myself in this. So the idea of simultaneously laughing and crying at the human condition is really what I think this important drama is about.
So it does seem very serious. So it's not
It
for
is.
everybody.
That's right. It shouldn't be for everybody. And I've got a wonderful cast. It's a wonderful script. And so if you're serious about theater, and particularly if you've never seen Irish drama, this is a great place to start. Juno and the Paycock by Sean O'Casey.
Beautiful. Now, there's some other productions going on in Santa Fe, Frank.
They're with an organization called Theater Works, and they have been in circulation, I'm to understand, 20 years from David, but I haven't lived here 20 years.
Right.
But I have not really run across them yet. They have a substantial track record. They get funding, and they're supposedly very articulate. They know what they're doing. So they approached us. They approached our partner Alan and asked if they could have in on a festival, and in fact, could they consider expanding it even up into Colorado, calling it the Southwest Theater Festival, as opposed to what we originally called, wasn't it the Albuquerque Irish Festival?
Yeah, we started
something
off
like
with a
that.
much more restrained and
Yeah,
humble
much
name.
more like Marble Street Irish Theater or something like that. And they were anxious to participate. The problem being that if you want to see their work, and it's an interesting cross section, including a visit from one of the great women Irish playwrights of the time, who was coming into Santa Fe for one of her shows. If you want to go see them, you need to go up to Santa Fe, because they won't have any venues, we think, down here, what with the available theaters being taken up with the other productions that we have going on. But I'm to understand that they're very good, and they have a combination of, like Brian's play, some original historical productions, and then a very contemporary production of this play by this woman, Marina Carr, who is considered the best female playwright in Ireland, probably one of the best, period, and ran successfully in London, and now it's here. With the playwright in attendance, that's a big deal. I might even try to go up and see it, since we've labored over her plays before. Very fierce woman, yes.
I'm curious what the theater atmosphere is like in Santa Fe, because we have so many theaters here in Albuquerque. I'm just curious, like, how it differs in Santa Fe. Is there a lot of interest?
I'm the wrong person to ask, because while I go up to see shows occasionally, I really don't know that scene very well. I do know something about the Albuquerque scene, which is simply unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've lived other places, and I've never seen the level of activity that we have in Albuquerque, and that's the subject of another show, I'm sure. But, one of the things, Frank, we've got to mention is that the Adobe Theater is doing Dancing at Lunacy.
Dancing on Lunacy,
Talk about that.
Well, a lot of people are familiar with it because it was a film with Meryl Streep playing the lead. It's a great film. I went to avoid reading the play again. Well, I'm going to watch the movie, but I'm a movie guy too. And it was a very, very good film. And it's written by this playwright, Brian Friel, who has a reputation about rescuing the Irish language from the colonial British and believing that your language is who you are. So that's always been his emphasis. Now, this play is not necessarily about that. It's about 5 women in a family who live together and make do, giving their decreasing chances of finding any kind of love and intimacy, say with, in marriage or whichever. And some of it works out well, some of it doesn't. But there is a big dancing scene, which is why they call it Dancing at Lunasa. It's a memory play. It's a play based on Brian Friel's, early days in Donegal on a farm. And it's very good, and the language just sparkles, which is the whole point about Irish theater. I think when we first talked a long time ago, the language is just wonderful. There are no slouches when it comes to slinging a term, you know.
Well, if you love Irish drama, then you've come to the right place. It's the second annual Southwest Irish Theater Festival. I want to thank the organizer and co-founder Frank Melcori for being with us, and Brian Hansen from the Vortex Theater. Part of the Albuquerque Theater Guild. If you like info on the theater festival, the Irish Theater Festival, there's your website. Check it out. There's a lot going on. Back with more in just a moment on The Morning Brew.